Deputy Lieutenant, members of Henley Town Council, and ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Ken Arlett.
Morning, Deputy Lieutenant Lady Hall, councillors, ladies and gentlemen. May I welcome you to this annual meeting and mayor making of Henley Town Council. Before we consider the main business of this morning, can I ask my chaplain to commence the proceedings with prayers? Could you please stay standing? Thank you.
Let us pray. Lord, bless this town of Henley, that religion and virtue may season all sorts of men, that there may be peace within its gates and prosperity in all its borders. In peace, so preserve it, that it corrupt not. In trouble, so defend it, that it may patiently seek thee, the only supply and sure foundation of men and states, so that it may continue a place to do thee service to the end of time. Through Jesus Christ, our only Saviour and Redeemer. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated.
Thank you, Father Jeremy. First item on the agenda is the election of mayor for the ensuing year 21 to 22. If I could call on Councillor Miss Kelly Hinton to propose the motion that Councillor Sarah Miller will be mayor for the ensuing year. Councillor Hinton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to nominate Councillor Miller for Mayor of Henley. After it's seconded, I'd like to speak, please.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Romans. Councillor Hinton, back to you.
Thank you. It will come as no surprise that I'm making this proposal today after my nomination of Councillor Miller for Mayor-elect a short while ago. There are many reasons why Sarah is a brilliant choice to be our #1 resident in the town, and I'd like to share some of them with you now. Sarah Miller was a big part of the community before she became a town councillor, running a book club, organising the annual design day in the town hall, and quite simply being Henley born and bred. In her day job, Sarah works for the Royal Institute of British Architecture and also runs an events company with another local community champion and friend, Julia. There is no doubt that Sarah's professional and personal life experience make her a knowledgeable and helpful person to have as a member of Henley Town Council. Just over 6 years ago, when Sarah joined and stood with Henley Residents Group for election, she was a breath of fresh air. For those that don't know her yet, she's not the kind you should underestimate. She may be calm and rational, but she is also a force to be reckoned with and passionate about Henley. Sarah always dives straight into action, and she is a key team player, but also understated. And although she gets stuck in, she does quite a lot of that under the radar. Sarah is sophisticated, quick-witted, and a lot of the time, absolutely hilarious. Whether she is writing a blog, having a chat with you over coffee, or just musing on social media, Sarah is guaranteed to make you laugh. That being said, Sarah doesn't take her council work as a joke, and she has clearly demonstrated that over the past 6 years. As a councillor, Sarah works extremely hard. She got stuck in with HRG immediately, becoming a chairwoman, looking for ways to make a contribution to the town. And the first town council committee Sarah chaired was recreation and amenities, leading the way in looking after our open and green spaces and facilities. And when she passed that role over to me, she took on even more work by becoming the chair of Town and Community Committee, leading the way on projects and initiatives such as economic development of our high street, our markets, and of course, events, a subcommittee in its own right, and another that Sarah chairs. Sarah was leading the way with the Mayfair before it became a town council run event, and she has been the lead councillor for other events such as the Christmas Festival. Her dedication cannot be questioned. Sarah puts the hours in, she gets things done, and she can work with anybody to achieve good things. The refill campaign, shade in the toddler playground, water fountains, the list goes on, and it's impressive. Another thing that's always impressed me about Sarah is her family, and what a wonderful unit they are. I am lucky enough to also know Sarah's partner Carolyn and their beautiful twin daughters Ruby and Vivian. Sarah may be a colleague, but they are all my friends. Our children are friends. It's one thing to share this council table with people you respect or admire for their work ethic, but it's truly special to be able to share it with people you can trust and you can depend on. And that's Sarah and Carolyn. Not only are they good friends, but they are fantastic parents, and girls, you are a credit to them. I can't wait for the rest of Henley to get to know the O'Hara Millers. I'm so pleased to see that despite the pandemic changing so many things for so many of us, some of your family are able to be here today, including your very proud mother, Pauline. Hopefully, as we come further out of COVID-19 restrictions, we will see more community and civic events, because I know you have some exciting things planned. In summary, Councillor Miller, Sarah, you have the qualities needed to make a great ambassador for this town. You are caring, you're fair, committed and reliable. I'm looking forward to what you bring to the town over the next year and seeing how you make the role of mayor your own. One thing is guaranteed, it will be fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hinton. Another excellent speech. Well done. Councillor Romans, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Councillor Arlott, and thank you, Councillor Hinton.
Councillor Romans, I'm still the mayor.
Okay, so on Thursday evening last week, I went to get my second COVID-19 jab, and I was given a very warm and enthusiastic welcome to the surgery by a young lady who goes by the name of Carolyn. I'm sure she knows who she is. Now, for me, seeing Sarah's partner making such a positive and notable contribution to the community reaffirms my fervent beliefs that Sarah has a strong, stable and well-loving network of family and friends around her. And this, I think, is absolutely crucial for succeeding as the mayor of Henley-on-Thames. When I was standing for election as a councillor back in the heady days of 2019, we were out canvassing, and Sarah very kindly introduced me as a colleague while we were out talking to people. Now, for me, this is a very, very simple but strong touch, and it made me feel welcome, appreciated, and valued with what I was about to do, and it helped me bridge the transition to becoming a councillor. I was previously the secretary of the Henley Round Table, and unfortunately, due to our dwindling membership, we were unable to man various key events which we were known for, such as the annual Mayfair. Sarah, along with other councillors, took on the challenge of running Mayfair, and under her guidance, along with the help of others, the event survived, but it's also thrived into what we have today. In summary, we're in great hands with having Sarah Miller as the next mayor of Henley-on-Thames. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to second the nomination of Councillor Miller as our next mayor of Henley-on-Thames. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Romans. Another excellent speech. Thank you. Do I have any other nominations? No, I do not. We've got two very excited young ladies over there, and I'm sure we don't want to let them down. So, all in favour of Councillor Sarah Miller being the Mayor of Henley for, hold on, I haven't finished yet, for the ensuing year 21-22. All in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you. Councillor Miller, let me be the first one to congratulate you. You've now been duly elected as the Mayor of Henley-on-Thames. If you'd like to come forward and sign the declaration, which the Town Clerk has. Thank you.
Mask off for this. I, Sarah Miller, having been elected to the office of Mayor of Henley-on-Thames Town Council, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the Code of Conduct which is expected of members of this council. Thank you.
COVID rules. Could you all please be upstanding while we leave to go to the Mayor's parlour to dress? Thank you.
We go. Yeah.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of Henley Town Council, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for Her Worship the Mayor, Councillor Sarah Miller.
Right, all be seated. Thank you. Okay. I'll be putting my mask on and off. Just take it off while I speak. But item 2 on the agenda is the... sorry. Please be seated. I'm now going to give a speech of acceptance. I'm going to stand up again. Sorry about that. Can you all hear me? Thank you. Councillors, staff, distinguished guests, my family, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here shocked, excited, a tad scared, but hugely honoured to be elected Mayor of Henley-on-Thames, my hometown, the town I grew up in, the town I love. I honestly haven't been this nervous since I appeared on Come Dine With Me and came last. Thank you, councillors, for placing your trust in me. And thank you to councillors Kelly Hinton and Rob Romans for your lovely words. Thank you very much. Sadly, government restrictions has meant not all my family could attend today, but I send love to you all in France, London, and the rest of the UK, and hopefully we'll be able to see each other soon. But thank you for all those who did make it today. It's tricky times, and tickets were restricted, I know. I found it difficult to get one myself, but thanks, Ken, one on the black market. And for the first time ever, we are live streaming this event, so hello to you all watching from the comforts of your sofas at home. Before I kick off, I want to thank somebody who has steered Henley through a very difficult time, and he did it with a calm confidence. When I first met Ken, I thought he was a bit scary. He was a former boxer, a seasoned councillor, and already an ex-mayor. But Ken's a good guy, and Henley runs in his veins. Ken has been inspirational in his tireless efforts in service of our town. His energy and enthusiasm shines through in all he does, and it's been an absolute pleasure working alongside him on town issues. I have a massive shoes to fill, and although I may not do things in the same way as Ken, my enthusiasm and love for Henley matches his. So I was very lucky. I was brought up in Henley. My father, Les Miller, ran his ad agency, News Tech Communications in Bell Street for many years. And we all lived in and around Henley until old enough to flee the nest. And although I spent time living and working in London and abroad, I always came back to Henley. To me, nothing compared to that feeling of home when driving over Henley Bridge, or the last stops from Twyford to Henley on the train. We're so incredibly lucky to live here. And of course, becoming a councillor really wasn't on my radar at all. And although I've always wanted to put something back into Henley, I really had no idea how to go about this. And it wasn't until I read a letter in our local paper about the recent river floods being blamed on the legislation of same-sex marriages that I felt the urge to join the council. What so infuriated and saddened me was that the letter was written by a sitting councillor, and I felt younger and more diverse attitudes were needed immediately. And after a quick chat with Kelly Hinton in the Trinity Playground and a coffee with Councillor Gavishak, the rest, as they say, is history. And so I joined the Henley Residents Group 6 years ago, and I've not looked back. It's been a fabulous journey working with such a varied, diverse, yet truly dedicated group of local people. People who just want the best for Henley and the town they love. And I'm very, very lucky to work with such dedicated councillors. Each and every councillor that sits around this table, regardless of their political hat, will do what they feel is best for their town. Yes, we may not always agree, but the good of the town and the Henley folk is always top of the list. We are all very passionate about the town that we live in. And not forgetting the incredibly hard work and dedicated town council staff who go above and beyond to ensure the council runs smoothly and us councillors can get on with the job. To park services who keep our meadows, parks and other green areas just looking wonderful throughout the year. And our town clerk, who oversees everything and can write a damn good policy. Thank you all for your dedication, your hard work and your commitment. What I have found most challenging as Mayor-elect, apart from writing this speech, is choosing my charities or causes to support for the year ahead. We have over 200 in Henley, all incredibly worthwhile organisations, and this has been really difficult for me. But for my first charity, I've chosen the Henley branch of the British Legion. Our family has always had a strong connection to the Legion. My grandfather, a desert rat, would take us to the British Legion in Ferndown, where we'd listen to stories from him and his friends about days gone by. The British Legion do so much, ensuring that the memories of those who have fought and sacrificed in the British Armed Forces live on through the generations. The Legion provides lifelong support for British Armed Forces, men, women, veterans, and their families through its welfare work, to live on to a more hopeful future. And of course, this year marks 100 years of the British Legion supporting the armed forces community, and I for one applaud them. For my second charity, I've chosen Regatta for the Disabled. Regatta for the Disabled was initially set up by the Rivertime Boat Trust, who organise a fantastic annual event held at Phyllis Court Club, to give children and adults with disabilities the opportunity to enjoy a day of varied land and river-based activities that they would normally not consider available to them. Regatta for the Disabled is such a fabulous event and an awesome charity that absolutely deserves our support. My final support as Mayor goes to Henley Plastic Reduction Group. 4 years ago, I set up Refill Henley with Julia Carey, where we encourage local businesses to offer passers-by the option to refill their water bottle for free, thus eliminating single-use plastic bottles and encouraging people just to refill and to reuse. Henley Refill was supported by the Henley Plastic Reduction Group, who, with over 800 members, are a fantastic source of information on ways to reduce the use of disposable plastics and work on helping Henley to become, perhaps one day, a plastic-free town. Henley Plastic Reduction has in the past organised town litter pick events, an exhibition on plastic reduction at the River and Row Museum, and has gone into primary schools to give talks on how we can further help reduce our plastic footprint in Henley. There is so much we can do, but for now, for me, right now, I'm focusing on PPE litter. I'm very aware of used marks littering our streets and killing our wildlife, and this is a widespread and growing problem. Therefore, my first initiative towards this will be to set up recycling mask collection points throughout the town for PPE, and I will be donating £500 of my mayoral allowance towards purchasing 6 collection boxes as part of Henley Plastic Reduction to show my commitment to this campaign. Henley is a small but vibrant tourist town with so much to offer, and I want to add my own touch, including more varied markets in and around the town, restoring the Phillimore Fountain, the installation of safe drinking fountains, planting of more trees, and of course I will be encouraging and supporting more local events. In particular, I look forward to once again staging the Henley May Fair next May in the town centre, along hopefully with Councillor Eggleton. The last year has been incredibly difficult for us all. Our businesses have suffered immensely and the high street continues to change at a rapid rate. We must actively support our shops, cafes, pubs and restaurants. This will be a real focus for me in the year ahead. And I'm incredibly lucky to have my mum, brother, sister and nephew who have supported me and of course my own wonderful family. My partner of over 20 years, Carolyn, or should I say Mayoress, and my beautiful children, Vivian and Ruby. I really look forward to the year ahead. Thank you all so much. I will work hard for Henley, and I'm truly excited and can't wait to get going. So thank you very much. Okay, so item 2 on our agenda is the vote of thanks to the retiring mayor. Do I have a vote of thanks?
I'd like to propose a vote of thanks to the outgoing mayor, Councillor Ken Arlott, and I'll speak if and when it's seconded.
Is this motion seconded? Thank you. Okay. All in favour?
I'm going to speak first.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you may speak.
I've prepared loads of words for this. I've been looking forward to embarrassing Ken. I proposed and seconded Councillor Arlott, for a number of things over the last 2 years as mayor and votes of thanks and so on. And so what more can I say about Ken that hasn't been said before? Well, I could say that Ken is shy, unassuming, bashful, retiring, diffident, lacks confidence and hates golf. I'm fairly certain that no one said anything of that sort before. I've known Ken for 30 years, and with Ken what you see is what you get. Ken's always a champion for Henley, and I'm not sure I'm telling anyone listening anything they don't know when I say that Ken has firm views, huge amounts of energy, a passion for getting things done, and getting those things done right. Ken's very well known in the town. He's a resident, he's been born and bred here. As a parent, he brought up his family here. But his long involvement in the community, stretching back over 30 years as a councillor, as a leading community figure, and 3 times mayor. And I wouldn't bet against a 4th either. It's hard to know of anyone who doesn't know, or at least hasn't heard of Ken. There are rarely any half measures, and so it's been for the last 2 years, and Ken's given it his all. As Sarah's just said, it is a daunting prospect, and living up to expectations is a challenge. And Ken has sailed through those expectations and more than met them. When Ken became mayor, no one could have predicted the unprecedented crisis that would erupt not just in Henley, but across the world. On this, as well as all the other usual day-to-day issues of the town, Ken has proved himself a visible, capable, and trusted leader, making sure that everything that could be done has been done to keep the residents safe, as well as to protect our local economy. Ken has worn the chain and represented the town with dignity. But I'd like to draw attention to the less visible side of Ken, the one that happens behind the scenes. And I've seen Ken behave in a way that's wonderfully kind, generous, thoughtful and caring. So often in the last 2 years, I've seen small things that Ken has done for people, quietly, out of sight. Ken has been a truly excellent mayor, but the mayorship has also brought out the best of Ken, and I've discovered that he's actually a bit of a softie, but I'm not sure he's going to like me saying that. Mayors, of course, have to work with partners in the community and with other communities. Ken has been a collegiate mayor, working with and listening to other councillors, his deputy mayor, and he's certainly earned all our respect, both in the council and across the town. But as with every mayor, Ken's biggest supporter is back home, where Dorothy keeps him organised and provides him with the grounded advice that all mayors need. Dorothy is as well known as Ken in the town, has been the perfect mayoress, and also thoroughly deserves our thanks. Being mayor is a big commitment of anyone's time and energy, and often mayors step down and take a bit of a break to recharge their batteries. Ken has certainly earned a rest, but I somehow think that that's not Ken's style, and he'll be fully active in continuing to pursue his visions and ambitions for Henley, the town he loves and the town he's already put so much into. So thank you to both, on behalf of the town and this council, to Ken and Dorothy, and I'm very happy to propose this vote of thanks to you both as Mayor and Mayoress for the last 2 years.
All in favour? That's carried. Thank you.
I'm not sure if Councillor Gaversack wished to speak. Could I just respond to that, Madam Mayor? Obviously, I've got 2 years of speech here, which hopefully won't take too long. So, Deputy Lord Lieutenant, Lady Hall, councillors, council staff, ladies and gentlemen. I do have quite a few thank yous to make, but I'd like to give a few congratulations before I get to that stage. And the first one, Madam Mayor, as I take this off.
Do you want to take your mask off, please?
The first one, Madam Mayor, is obviously to congratulate you as Mayor for taking over for the ensuing year. And if you have a good time as myself and Dorothy have, you will have a really good time representing the town. And I see how joyous the two girls look, so I think they're going to have a fantastic time as well. So all four of you, I hope you have a great year. I'd like to also congratulate Councillor Gaversack for being re-elected as the town councillor. Stefford has carried out an enormous amount of work for the town, which I think we should all appreciate. And I'd encourage all the councillors to support Stefan over the next 4 years. We don't need twittering to tell people things about Stefan. We just need to support him around the council table. So I'd encourage all councillors to support Stefan over the next 2 years at least, because we don't know what's going to happen over the next 2 after that. The Henley Residents Group have celebrated 30 years representing Henley Town Council, South Oxfordshire District Council, and also the County Council, which we won the seat there 4 years ago. I must apologise, I probably held it back 4 years by splitting a vote. So I must apologise about that, Stefan. But my UKIP days are behind me now. One of the reasons for the success is the leadership from one of our original members, Jill Dodds. And Jill Dodds, you used the word inspirational before, Madam Mayor. And Jill has been absolutely inspirational for the Henley Residents Group over 30 years. And I'm not so sure actually if we would have been here today without the likes of you, Jill. I think you've been kind of with us all the day. So, thank you very much for what you've done for the council, because it wouldn't have been for you, we wouldn't be here at the council. My final congratulations is for the town clerk, Sheridan Jacqueline Edward. The previous town clerk had resigned before I became mayor, not after. There was a very high quality of interviewees, and Sheridan stood out amongst them. Well, this is what I was told by the interview panel. He's had a very hard time, like all of us, through the last 15 months of COVID, having to work from home. But over that time, he's brought new policies to the town council. We have a new staffing structure, and he's proven true leadership in his 18 months or so at Henley Town Council. So thank you, Sheridan, for what you've achieved over that first period. I now move on to thank yous, and I say this is thank yous over 2 years, and it's also bouquet time. as all mayors like to give out bouquets. And my first one obviously is to Dorothy, who 30 years ago said to me, "You can't do it, you can't become mayor," but I did. And she's been so supportive over those years. And I think, to be fair, Dorothy, I think you would agree, you did enjoy the first year. This time, on my second time as year, we had a fantastic time for 9 months, and then unfortunately COVID took over. It killed the last 3 months of my year, which would have been, one of the better parts of it. And I'll go on to the charity in a while. So I'd like to thank Dorothy for supporting me throughout my time on Henley Town Council. We've had difficult times, but I think this time we're probably the best council I've been with. It's been really good over the last couple of years, and long may it continue for the final 2. So, would you like to present? So I'll meet you halfway. Secondly, to the Deputy Mayoress, Nikki Eggleton. I think to be fair, Nikki, we were, myself, you, Dave and Dorothy, we were having a fantastic time for 9 months, and then unfortunately, as I say, COVID come along, and so we probably haven't seen each other over the last probably 15 months or so, although we did have a meal in the marketplace, the 4 of us, on Saturday. So Nikki, thank you very much for your support for me, and obviously the Deputy Mayor Dave over the last 2 years. We both appreciate it, I'm sure we do, and we never know, there may be another day, but thank you for supporting both myself and Dave. Thank you, Nikki. And the third bouquet goes to my poor suffering PA, Lena, who always tells me to be brief. It's been a pleasure working with you, Lena. You've always kept me on the straight and narrow, so I thank you for that. One of the things Lena could never get round with me, I'd draft a letter and she'd say, "You can't send that." And I'd say, "I've sent it." And that went on so many times, I think. But to be fair, I think the response was always very positive. Lena's been absolutely fantastic supporting me through the year, and I'm sure she will with you, Madam Mayor. She'll organise your diary weekly, and she's always there to answer the phone. So thank you very much, Lena. Thank you. On Saturday, I attended the Royal British Legion centenary down at St Mary's Church, and I did feel a bit sorry for Father Jeremy because he couldn't take wine with us, and I kept seeing him knock this glass of wine back, and in the end he ran out. So I think everybody, Father Jeremy, will remember you on the late night shopping singing to Status Quo. Let me just see what it was called, Status Quo, and it was called Rockin' All Over the World. I'll always remember yourself and the Reverend Duncan Carter and myself singing Rockin' All Over the World. So, as we didn't have much wine on Saturday, my wife's going to present you with 2 bottles of red wine.
Thank you.
Here we are.
And a thank you to, obviously, Councillor Reisman. A bit disappointed Councillor Gavashat didn't say anything. I know he had this long speech ready for me. Both of these gentlemen are so committed to the council, be it Henley Town Council, which Ian spent years and years helping to save townlands, which obviously we thank you for, Ian. And Stefan probably overdoes it on his district and town council work, but I think we should both thank both of these senior members of the council for the amount of work that they do for the town. So thank you, both of you. It won't be much longer. My thanks to Councillor Egerton, who's been my deputy for 2 years. The first 9 months, obviously, Dave was really handy to fill in when I was unable to attend any function. Never let me down at all. But unfortunately, Dave, like all of us, the last 15 months has been almost a semi-disaster. We've done very few functions. We couldn't have done them through COVID. But even when I've needed Dave, he's always been around. So thank you, Dave, and thank you for your service to the town. Thank you. Obviously, a thanks to all the town councillors worked so hard over the last 2 years and probably the previous 4 before there, which most of you are on the council. A thank you to committee chairmen and anybody that came to the annual town meeting. I did ask them to give me 1 page of what they'd succeeded in doing over the previous year. Most of them gave me 3 or 4 pages of their successes. Kelly decided to give me 10 pages. And she always tells us about the Recreation and Amenities Committee, how much work they did. But it was incredible the amount of work that this council has carried out. My biggest disappointment, actually, and probably my most one of the successes of the year was Councillor Thomas taking over chairman of planning. Obviously, I thought I was the ideal person for that, but she's absolutely taken it to like a duck to water. So, congratulations, Michelle, for taking over the planning committee. Absolutely excellent. We have a number of working groups on the town council, and amongst these are residents of the town, which give up their time for nothing, because obviously their interest is in the town, and I'd like to thank all of them. There are too many people to name at this moment in time, but I'd just like to mention Tony Hoskins, who chairs the Climate Emergency Working Group, who does an abundance of work, unbelievable amount of work. So I'd like to thank Tony. And another fellow called Patrick Fleming. Just about every working group on this town council, Patrick seems to be on it. I'm not sure why he's not a councillor. He'd probably have less work to do if he was a councillor, but he chooses not to stand for council. I'd like to thank all the town council staff that have been very helpful through the year. They've always been encouraged me, they've always helped me out, and I'd like to thank every one of those that supported me over the 2 years. There are numerous charities in the town which probably people don't understand. Someone told me there are up to 200 charities or local organisations in this town. And as Mayor, Madam Mayor, you will get to know probably most of them, because I think you'll find you're ex officio. And, the likes of the municipal charity, the educational charity, Henley Housing Trust, all the trustees do their work for nothing. They all give up their time. Jill obviously runs the day centre. We're so lucky to have so many people that do so much good work for this town. It's been a fantastic year for me personally, being involved with the sports clubs of Henley. And I've taken quite a liking to the rugby club, where you get well looked after there with meals and drinks and God knows whatever. But there's some fantastic people that run these sports clubs for the town. As I say, yeah, there again, we are so lucky again to have them do all this work for nothing, and may long it can continue. A chap that keeps appearing everywhere is this fellow there. I think he has a town medal as well, John Green. And John does a fantastic job with the Royal British Legion. He was there again on Saturday. Thank you, John, and obviously Anne Evans for what you do with the Royal British Legion. Thank you. If I forgot anybody, I do apologise. I'll just mention actually Michaela, who runs the Henley Hill, who always gives me good PR anyway, so thank you for that. Don't worry about it. And obviously the Henley Standard that occasionally writes some things about me. It keeps the profile going, that's the main thing. I'm almost near the end, thankfully. And this is actually, I was told I was going to be held to account when I became mayor 2 years ago. I do have my speech here from 2 years ago, from 2019, if anybody would wish to read it. But I was told I was going to be held to account by one councillor. And I'll just refer back to what we've achieved in those 2 years. I said what I'd want to achieve, my main 3 items would be parking, parking and parking. Well, the good news is we've got new parking fees coming in the district council. Car parks, we're going to have 1 hour free car parking for 7 days of the week, and the traders all seem to be very positive about that one. We're going to bring in decriminalisation in December, which will hopefully be run by ourselves in line with SODC. And in the neighbourhood plan review, we're looking at a policy on parking, where if you're going to build a new house, you're going to have to provide parking. So that was my three parkings, which I think we've achieved there. We're achieving social housing through the neighbourhood plan, and that was another one of my items. And I also mentioned I want to see 20 mile per hour zones in Henley, also new zebra crossings. So thank you, Councillor Gavashak, for doing that for me. Thank you. I wish to work closer with the businesses and communities. I think we've achieved that. I think we have a good rapport with all the businesses in town. I wouldn't say this is a failure, but my most disappointing one was the Jubilee Park, when we were proposing to build a new clubhouse and a 3G pitch down there. I feel that we're still going to get there. We meet again on Thursday, I believe, and it didn't happen, unfortunately, for numerous reasons, but that's one of the things I wish to continue. So 2 years ago, Madam Mayor, sorry for taking up all your time, but that's what I think the Town Council have achieved over the last 2 years. I've enjoyed the time, been absolutely brilliant. Thank you, everybody, for your support, and thank you for anybody out here that's a trustee for any local organisation. Thank you. I'll try and be quick here with the Mayor's Relief and Convalescence Fund for 2019-2021. I had 3 local organisations. I had the Henley Music School, Nomad and MENCAP, and we have Laura Renica from the music school, Sue Pryor from Nomad, and third Libby Meachin from MENCAP. So thank you all for coming today. It's been tough raising money, it's been really tough, and we were going to raise some big money at the civic dinner, but that got cancelled. And we were going to have a civic dinner this year, and that got cancelled again. But I do aim to have some kind of dinner in the future. And why I'm going to do that, 52 people that have paid their £50 for the ticket has donated this to the Mayor's Relief and Convalescence Fund. So with that money and other money, we did raise £6,750. I have to say this, I'm sorry, and I do apologise if I offend anybody, but up in the town hall we have 7 dwarfs which were donated by Helen Gaynor, and I hope to auction those off when I have a lunch of some description, and I might auction them off. I might get some Wombles there as well, because I know Mike Batt actually from the Wombles, and maybe we could do some. Councillor Eggleston's looking at Councillor Hamilton for some reason. So maybe we can auction these 7 dwarfs, and I can get a couple of Wombles, and we raise some even more money for maybe your charity, Madam Mayor. So I believe we have some cheques somewhere. Lena? I'll do them in this order. The first one is for Nomad with Sue Pryor. 2,200. £2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. 2,250. COVID again, sorry. The next one is for MenCap, Capital Living. And finally, Laura Renniker with the Henley Music School. We've finished, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I now call on Mrs. Dorothy Arlett, the retiring mayoress, to invest the new mayoress, Miss Carolyn O'Hara, with the badge of office. Thank you. Item 3 on your agenda is apologies for absence. Town Clerk, do we have any apologies for absence today?
Madam Mayor, I'm pleased to report that we have no apologies.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of the Deputy Mayor. Do I have any proposed? Councillor Cook, would you like to...
I propose Councillor Michelle Thomas.
Thank you. Is this proposal seconded? And is there anyone that will second? Do you want to say a few words? Sorry, Councillor. Oh. Councillor Lambert, you want to propose as well?
I'm seconding.
You want to second this?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
sorry.
I'll speak.
And you'll
I'll
speak
speak.
after Councillor? Okay.
Yeah,
Councillor
Cook. Right, okay, lovely. I'd like to propose Michelle Thomas as Deputy Mayor. For Michelle is a hard-working councillor and is great in her role as Chair of Planning, and she's never afraid to put someone in their place. And just the other day, she showed this by putting Ken in his place at Planning. Michelle is driven, community-minded and cares deeply about children's education. For it wasn't very long before she got elected back in 2019 that she was one of the organisers of the Together for Education March. I think that Michelle, as Deputy Mayor, will be a great asset for the town, working alongside Sarah as Mayor. So who better to lead us out of the pandemic than two strong ladies to show how things are done? So move over, Ken and Dave, and make way for the women.
When Councillor Michelle Thomas was elected 2 years ago, she jumped in with both feet and became the Vice Chair of our Planning Committee immediately, taking over from the Chair, Councillor Ken Arlett, just 1 year later. Those who have attended or watched Planning Committee meetings online would be forgiven for thinking Councillor Thomas had been chairing it for years. There seems no task too big or small for her, whether she is leading the charge against school funding cuts or fighting developers who dare to build on our footpaths. You can rely on Councillor Thomas to fight the good fight and give it her all. Devoted, determined, always on the ball and never afraid of a challenge, it is my pleasure to second Councillor Michelle Thomas for Deputy Mayor. A stronger and more dependable candidate would be hard to find.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for Deputy Mayor here? I see none. Are we all in favour? Councillor Michelle Thomas, you are duly appointed Deputy Mayor of Henley-on-Thames for the ensuing municipal year. Congratulations.
Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, tradition dictates that the deputy gets to say very little on this occasion. That's a very, very difficult ask, isn't it, for a councillor? Today is all about our new mayor, Councillor Miller. I don't want to say too much other than that I'm very much looking forward to working with you over the coming year. I have known Sarah since we worked on LA Fitness together. Sarah has such passion for this town. It's inspiring and infectious. You have no choice but to be caught up in it. I think Sarah and I will make a great team. Sarah on the town and community side, and I on planning and infrastructure. In other words, Sarah gets all the fun stuff. Before I go, I would just like to say a word of thanks to Councillor Eggleton. Councillor Eggleton is such a character in our town. You'll always see him around in his high-vis. He also does a lot of work behind the scenes. Thank you, Councillor Eggleton. If I'm half the deputy that you have been, I'll be very pleased. Thank you. Before I go, I would just like to say a word of thanks to a few people. My family, my husband Dave, my son Tom, my daughter Eleanor. So proud of you all. My parents, Paula and Tom, thank you for being here today to support me. And my employer, Leander Club, for all of their encouragement and support over the coming year. I look for councillors. Oh, I can't forget you all. Thank you so much for your votes and your kind words. It means so much to me. And I really look forward to working with you over the coming year. Thank you.
I think now if Nicola Eggleton, I think, would you like to hand over the chain to David Horsley? Item 5 on the agenda is to consider the election of standing committees for the ensuing year. I propose the appointment of the following standing committees for the purpose of discharging the Council's business in the local government year 21-22. Finance, Strategy and Management, Planning, Recreation and Amenities, Town and Community, and the membership thereof as set out in the Appendix 7, which is attached. Is this proposal seconded? Thank you. Are we all in favour? This motion is carried. The next item on the agenda is item 6, to consider the appointment of members of the outside bodies. May I have a proposal for this?
I propose. I propose that as on the agenda, that the appointment of members for the outside bodies is deferred to the next full council, and in the meantime, the existing appointments will carry over for the next 6 weeks.
Okay.
Nice.
Is this proposal seconded? Thank you. Are we all in favour? Thank you very much. This motion is carried. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the business for this annual meeting of the Town Council 2021.
Ladies and gentlemen, all rise.
Got a spare stick? What do we do with the stick? You've got a spare one. What have I borrowed?